traveling this morning, so getting a later start on this report. It is 9:17 Central Standard Time, 10:17 Eastern Standard Time, and approximately 6:47 p.m. Tehran time. The UN Refugee Agency estimates that hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced across the region as they flee the violence. The British Maritime Security Agency has reported that a tanker off the coast of Kuwait has been hit by a large explosion and that there is oil in the water, but the crew is safe. The Strait of Hormuz, normally jammed with oil tankers and cargo ships, is now virtually empty, sending oil and gas prices surging. Thousands of Americans are still stranded in the region as the State Department apparently had no plan to get them out after the conflict began. A number that was given to those fleeing the violence went to a voicemail that said the State Department can't be relied on to help. They are now scrambling to get charter flights in to get Americans out of the region. Thousands of protesters have been gathering in the streets of Tehran and other cities to condemn the U.S. and Israeli attacks. Initially, there was hope that Trump would help them after his initial tweets of support in January saying, hey, we're coming to rescue you, which he did not do. But after consistent bombing of the center of Tehran and neighborhoods there, that hope has faded, especially after Trump told people in the center of Iran to stay in their homes before the bombing began. Iran has said it has targeted Kurdish separatist groups in Iraq that it said were intending to enter Iran. This comes as there are reports that Trump has talked to at least 3 Kurdish groups in Iraq and Iran in the hopes that they will help with an uprising against the current Iranian leadership. The conflict continues to expand as now Azerbaijan has said it was hit by Iranian drones. This is after Hegseth and Trump have said repeatedly that they have drastically reduced Iran's capability to do things like this. There are still strikes going on throughout the region. However, ballistic missiles from Iran have dropped. Canadian leader Mark Carney has now said he can never categorically rule out participation in the war after previously saying Canada would not take part. U.S. and India tensions have also risen after the sinking of an Iranian ship near Sri Lanka in what India considers its backyard, and after the ship had joined an Indian fleet review. The sinking was just hours after it left Indian waters and is considered a massive blow to New Delhi's regional credibility. Senator Ruben Gallego, Democrat, Arizona, has stated that he would vote to fund a war against Iran, despite calling it a dumb war previously. He said a specific condition that at least 50% of the funding must come from Israel and U.S. allies in the Gulf states. This comes as the House is to vote today on the War Powers Resolution that the Senate voted against yesterday. Every Democrat voted to try to limit Trump's ability to continue the war, except for John Fetterman. Republican Rand Paul joined the Dems in trying to bring war powers back to Congress as representatives of the American people. Jared Moskowitz from Florida, Josh Gottheimer from New Jersey, and Greg Landsman are expected to vote with Republicans today to let Trump continue the war. Hegseth criticized the media for making U.S. deaths in Iran war front page news. I don't know where they should fucking be when he's getting U.S. military members killed. For Netanyahu and Trump to avoid accountability. But yeah, the front page seems pretty good to me. And finally, you've probably seen this already, but Brian McGinnis, a Marine Corps veteran and firefighter, had his arm broken while protesting the loss of American military lives for Netanyahu and Trump as they avoid accountability for genocide and pedophilia. He is in surgery right now. He may have just gotten out of surgery. He's getting pins in his arms. Again, this is where Tim Sheehy, who is the Montana junior senator, came over to assist and help to break his arm as he was being let out by Capitol Police. Sheehy gets about $650,000 from AIPAC, and someone that came to his defense, Tom Tillis, who for a brief moment looked like he had a spine when he was pushing back against Kristi Noem yesterday, said that McGinnis was unhinged and he supported what Sheehy did. So veterans and firefighters who are protesting the loss of American military lives because of Trump and Netanyahu, protesting the loss of their lives and being sacrificed for that, are now being bodily thrown out by Republican senators and supported by Republican senators, both of whom are heavily funded by AIPAC. I think Tillis has gotten about 1.5 mil from AIPAC. So there you have it. Thank you.